Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. Guys, today we're going to dive into the altcoins. What I want to do is encourage you to take a look at this altcoin with an open mind, okay? I know what you want to hear. Everybody wants to hear that their coin is going to 50x, 100x. I get it. I want to hear that too, okay? But listen to me. I've been through 3 bull markets and I'm now in my 3rd bear market, okay? And I'm not saying I'm always correct, okay? But I know how these things go, okay? We're going to look at the coin from a technical standpoint. How many of you a few weeks ago, as your coin was going up 60, 70, 100%, was listening to the influencers telling you this time is different, super cycle, Bitcoin dominance is headed down, alt season is here, blah, 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 blah. And today your coin is probably down 50%, okay? Don't listen to the noise, okay? We're going to look from a technical standpoint, okay? I don't know about your fundamentals of your coin. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. We can't predict what may happen later, what partnerships may come in, what scandals may come up. We can't predict those types of things, but what we can predict and know for a fact are things like tokenomics, circulating supply, technical analysis. Those things don't change. So we can look at it from a technical standpoint and take a realistic approach to what this coin might do. If anything comes later, like some sort of hopium or some sort of deal or some sort of thing like that in the economy with your coin, where it gets worldwide mass adoption, great, that's a bonus. But be prepared for less, okay? Or be prepared for a more realistic target. The biggest mistake I made in my first cycle was listening to everyone else who said that my coin was going to 50, 60x. And as I sat here and watched it 10 and 15x, which was great, I didn't take profit because I was waiting on that 50x because I believed the narrative. And I wound up writing that coin all the way back down and round tripping it, right? I learned from that mistake. If you're not at least open-minded to hearing what a conservative approach would be, then you're only showing your inexperience in this market. So don't be inexperienced. If you are inexperienced, at least try to learn, okay? If I think your coin's going to 100x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 5x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 0, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to keep it real with you. I know I could get way more clicks by just coming in and shouting 100x, but that's not going to serve you anything good in the future. So let's take a realistic approach to these coins, and we'll see if we can figure out where a good bull market top is going to be. Let's take a look at the charts. Here we go. Let's take a look at the XRP charts. I'm looking at XRP on the weekly Bitstamp charts. And I already know I'm kicking the hornet's nest. You XRP army guys, you are relentless, and I love you for it. But I want to encourage you to look at this with an open mind, okay? I know XRP is going to $10. I know. I've been in this space for 12 years. XRP has been here since 2013. And since 2013, XRP has been going to $10. Yet, XRP has never, ever come even close to $10. So maybe, just maybe, try to see it through a different lens this time and see if we can find a realistic target for XRP, okay? I'm looking at XRP just back to May of 2017. Prior to that, you were way down here, like sub 1 penny, up to 1 or 2 cents. And I just don't think this price action is relevant. I don't see XRP ever returning to those levels. So we're just going to look at it from when it kind of came into, the more modern price action. Okay, this gives us a good 10 years worth of price action, so should be sufficient. XRP originally set an all-time high price of $331 back in January of 2018. Now, what I want to draw your attention to is the circulating supply and market cap. At the time you set this 330 price all-time high, you had a circulating supply of 38.7 billion coins and $120 billion market cap, okay? Fast forward, you had the lawsuit, all that kind of negativity. So you really underperformed in the 2021-2022 bull cycle. But then you picked things up last cycle and you set a new all-time high, just barely, but you did set a new all-time high of $3.65, depending on your exchange, okay? Now, what I want you to pay attention to, at that time, you had an increased circulating supply, meaning the number of coins on the market, to 59.2 billion. So from 38.7 to 59.2, which is why you did a $216 billion market cap, which was almost double your previous market cap, yet you barely broke all-time high, okay? That's just supply and demand. You have more tokens in the market, so even though you had almost twice as much money come into XRP, the price did not reflect it or barely reflected it, but you didn't have double the price. You didn't see a $6 XRP, even though you had almost double the money in the coin. Circulating supply increased. Fast forward to today, we have a $1.13 price, market cap 70 billion, and circulating supply has increased again to 62 billion. Now, what I want you to really pay attention to is next cycle. We anticipate the next cycle ending about Q4 2029. So this could change a little depending on when the next cycle ends. If it's a little later or a little before, maybe it ends in 2028 for altcoins. This could be a little bit different, but it's going to be pretty close and it's going to be increased regardless. So if this ends around Q4 of 2029, I went and looked up the unlock schedule, the token unlock schedule for XRP. There will be about 72 billion coins on the market, okay? At 72 billion coins up to the top, that is 22% higher. So 22% more coins will be on the market than you had at your all-time high in July of 2025, okay? That means XRP's market cap will have to reach 262 billion, which obviously is 22% more to reach your all-time high of 365, okay? If your market cap just matches, if you just return to your previous market cap all-time high of 216 billion, then price will only be $3. So it'll be significantly less than previous all-time high, price all-time high, if you match market cap all-time high. Now, here's where I think people are going to get wrecked again if you're waiting on $10. To reach $10, and this is not my opinion, this is mathematics, okay? To reach $10, your market cap would have to reach $720 billion. To put that into a frame of reference, that is 33% higher than the Ethereum market cap has ever reached. Can it happen? Sure, it can happen. But in 13 years of this coin, you have never exceeded 216 billion. So I just don't think you're going to do 33% more than Ethereum has ever done to reach 720 billion. I just don't see that happening. The reason you didn't get much higher than previous all-time high is you had a lot of people buy into that $10 narrative. I was around back then. You had a lot of people buy into the $10 narrative back here and bought at $3. So they held this coin for almost 10 years. And when it got back to their break even, they dumped on you. And then everybody bought into the $10 narrative here. I remember it. I was following it. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. We're going to $10. And then they came back. So everybody that bought this, everybody that bought the all-time high to let these guys out, they panicked when you had this big drop because this was a significant drop. This wasn't a small drop. This was a 50% drop, okay? They panicked. And so when price did come back to let those guys out, they dumped on you also. So now you have a lot of trap traders. You have a lot of buyers underwater who bought this all-time high around $3, $3.65, who are now riding the wave down. And let me tell you guys, when it comes back, if it comes back to that point, and they're able to get out, they're going to dump on you again, okay? And it's going to be a big dump, and I'm not saying you can't recover and then eventually shoot up to all-time highs. Sure you can, but just be cautious of this coin. I do like this coin. The fundamentals are obviously great. It has an amazing team behind it. The community is fantastic. It's one of the best in all of crypto. The XRP army is great. I'll show you what I think, though. So I've put the fixed range on this upper area, again, back since 2017. You've got this value area range. I am not interested in XRP at this price. All you can go on, guys, you can't guarantee that a coin is going to break its previous market cap all-time high. You can't even guarantee it's going to reach it. But we like to act under the assumption that it does at least reach it, okay? And if you reach previous market cap all-time high, again, that's going to put you to a $3 XRP, okay? I actually do think XRP probably does a little better, but let's assume it just matches it, okay? At current price, that only gives you about 165% return on your investment. That is awful. I mean, that's good. That's really good, actually. But compared to other opportunities on other coins at their current price, the risk to reward is just not there for me. You could get on many other coins at current price and have a much better upside risk to reward. Now, could this thing blast off the $10 or $20? Sure, it could, but it's very unlikely to happen. You're just not likely to reach $720 billion market cap. I just don't see that happening. Certainly not in the next cycle. However, I don't think the low is in for XRP yet. Looking at this value area range, you have a massive imbalance here, okay? See this big imbalance, this big run up, which was fantastic. But these are imbalance candles, so I do think this entire imbalance gets filled. I do think you get the correction down to at least retest the value area high. Come into our box, you can see all the clear support from last cycle right here. Clear volume support right here. I do think you come down and get an opportunity here anywhere from about, let's call it 45 to 60 cents. Somewhere in there, 50, 55 cents. Now, if you can get down there and you can get XRP at these prices and then target $3, you could get yourself about a 500% rally. Now, I still think there are much